Our political correspondent, Tom Harwood, is there for us. And Tom, we haven't been able to talk about it for the rest of the show because, of course, it is voting day. But this turned into the dirtiest by-election campaign in recent memory. What are you hearing on the ground? Who do you think's going to do it?
That's certainly true. It has been a very tough campaign. One senior Labour source I spoke to earlier today said he hadn't heard anything as nasty as this since the 2014 Scottish separation referendum. There has been some great intimidation of campaigners and what has been described as a circus come into town here. Of course, there are some very well-known candidates here. For example, George Galloway, who's standing for the Workers' Party and has been whipping up a bit of a storm here, and the Labour Party especially has been complaining about some of the people associated with him and their tactics. But the Conservative Party, as you say, is odds-on favourite to win. Some of the people I've been speaking to in the Conservative Party today have been saying that their data operation has not been as good as they expected. There's been some problems with their get-out-to-vote operation, and one Conservative source said to me earlier today, if they win this seat, it's despite their canvassing efforts today rather than because of it.
So, Tom, what does that mean? Does that mean that there could be a victory for George Galloway and the Workers' Party, or that Labour could just hang on?
It's unlikely that George Galloway will be able to surmount the two established parties here, but do you know what? There is so little data on what is a new political movement. We just don't know. I was talking to several Labour MPs who were out knocking on doors earlier today. Slight echoes of what happened in Bradford West just a few years ago when George Galloway took a seat just up the road from here unexpectedly in a by-election. The whole issue here is that there just isn't the data. There are many tens of thousands of electors here and just not enough people knocking on doors to find out exactly where votes are. And so it does seem that it's all to play for. The Conservatives, despite their data problems today, feel that they might just clinch it. There's actually been some Labour positivity today. I was speaking to a couple of Labour canvassers who were knocking on doors saying that actually they were surprised at how well their vote was holding up. I would say at this stage in the night, where all the ballots haven't even been taken into the counting centre behind me yet, it is all to play for. So it's going to be a very, very exciting night.
And so often by-elections are about expectation management, and if Labour pulls off even a very slight narrow lead, that will be considered a reprieve for Keir Starmer. If it's a loss, however, Tom, there are going to be so many questions about his leadership. Do you believe that Angela Rayner could be prepared to make a move?
Well, we're hearing so many names in terms of who might challenge Keir Starmer, who might put in a move. We've heard not only Angela Rayner, but Yvette Cooper has been putting herself about. Dawn Butler, there's been suggestions that she might run. We've heard actually that the Socialist Campaign Group of MPs had a meeting earlier today to decide how best they might dislodge Keir Starmer if he were to preside over another Labour Party loss, because of course it's not that long ago that the seat of Hartlepool, a seat that has always been Labour, fell to the Conservatives in a by-election. Now that's a little way away from here, but it's still part of what we call the Red Wall, this sort of traditional, more working class areas that Labour has held for a long, long time. Labour has been in power in this seat for almost 25 years. So if the Conservatives do clinch it, as they think they might, that is a pretty seismic result. And there will definitely be fallout within the leadership of the Labour Party for many days to come.
All right, great stuff. Well, Tom Harwood, go and see what you can find out, and we will talk to you again as the show progresses. So just repeating the breaking news, polls now closed in the Batley and Spen by-election.